What'd you make of Kyrie's antics? What do you have to say?
Well, the last part's very fascinating, because what if someone is really about it? What is Kyrie? What's the next step there? I'm curious. It's like, okay, pause the game. We got to rumble at midcourt. Listen, the last thing I want to do, Brew, is sit here and defend Boston sports fans. That is not my brand. That is not what I believe in. I have been at TD Garden watching a Cavs playoff game once upon a time, Mother's Day 2018. Me and my pal Bomani Jones took the drive. My wife's still mad at me for that, to go watch Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. I got called a lot of those same things too. Your old buddy Nick Wright, not that popular at TD Garden. But guess what, Brew? I wasn't shocked by it. I'm like, yeah, I've kind of been poking these fans in the eye for the better part of 5 years. They're probably not a big fan of mine. And I don't even care that Kyrie flips people off. It's childish. It's not what you're supposed to do. What I care about is where does all this come from? What have I ever done? Why can't we just move on? Buddy, Brew, here's the timeline. Signs with the Celtics. First year there, doesn't go great. He skips out on Game 7, doesn't sit with the team on the bench. That was odd. Then that summer, I'll be here for life if you'll have me. Immediately starts planning to go play with Kevin Durant. Gets asked about that. He's like, oh, two friends can't just chat? What is wrong with you guys? By the way, the young players on this team stink and they're selfish. They need to follow me. Then we get to the playoffs. Hey, guys, I got Giannis all guarded. Meanwhile, Giannis will baptize me. I'll go 6 for 18 in every single game and then leave. Then, when I finally come back, I'll stomp on that stupid leprechaun's face and then be like, oh, why does everybody hate me? Then I'll flip people off and tell them to perform sexual acts on me while I'm walking into the locker room and then again be like, you're going to talk to me like that? You want me to be docile? Give me a break. Give me a break. Like, just own it. You want to be this villain, that's fine. Don't act all surprised that these drunk Celtic fans are cursing at you. Come on, man.
Well, I think, Nick, first of all, I got to say this. The only thing that's less your brand than defending the Celtics fans is defending Kyrie and the Nets. So you're in a good spot. You're right where you're supposed to be, because they're even below the Celtics, all right, on your radar. And you're referring to a clip we didn't see, because right after that, the clip we saw of Kyrie, he was asked by Nick Friedel of ESPN. Nick pushed it even further. And that's when Kyrie was like, it's not hostility, this. So that's when it seemed like it was a little more denial mode. But look, Kyrie's going to get fined, I would imagine. He should get fined, because you just can't have players flipping off fans. But I'm going to say this. I get the mindset. I don't mind Kyrie's mentality. I actually like his mentality. And here's why. Because he can handle it. As long as you can play well on the court, if he doesn't let it get in his head and take him away from the action and now he's off his game, I'm fine with it. You'll get fined, so I wouldn't agree with that. Much. I wouldn't do it. But the mentality of, look, I'm here to go at it. All right? I'm going at it with your players. I'm going at it with anybody who's rooting for the Celtics. I'm here for it. I don't mind it, especially if you can back it up on the court. So, Wilds, again, I don't agree with what he said that Nick referred to, going to the locker room. I don't agree with him flipping off the fans.
No, of course not.
He should get fined.
No.
But I like the warrior mentality he's displaying, and that's what the Nets are going to need, because Boston came out there and tried to bully him early, and the Nets handled it. And they went back at him and lost on a tough shot. But I don't mind that mentality by Kyrie.
No, I mean, I don't mind it either, but I enjoy the theater of it. Because before the series, remember Bruce Brown had the audacity to sit there after in a press conference and said, the Celtics without Robert Williams, we might be able to go at Horford. And, Kevin Durant's like, oh man, why did he say that? Why did he do that? Why did he give the Celtics more ammo? And then Kyrie goes and flicks everybody off and says all sorts of horrible things. So I don't have a problem with it, but we ratchet up the theater. Here's the thing, because it's not perfect, but I kind of like it, but I kind of don't like it. Someone needs to step up from the Boston celebrity community, Nick, because the issue is Kyrie just flicking off orthodontist and his daughter from Quincy,
Sully.
Massachusetts just kind of sits wrong. But Reggie Miller and Spike Lee, all-time great moments. So, listen, Mark Wahlberg, Donnie
Marky
Wahlberg,
Mark.
Ben
Yeah, I do.
Affleck, Matt Damon, you guys have to play the Spike Lee role. Someone has to go there and take all the vitriol to Kyrie, and Kyrie has to aim it all at one person. It's kind of like celebrity v. celebrity. Kyrie can't go against everybody. Go ahead.
I think your buddy Bill Simmons is actually already doing that. He was at the game, I'm sure, and I'm sure he had great seats. That might have been directed purely at Bill. It got to be a bigger celebrity than Bill.
Bill's good regular season. We got to go one level up.
How about Ralph
we got to go one level up
celebrity.
Somebody from New Edition.
Can do it.
Somebody from New Edition. I don't know.
Yes, someone from Belle Biv DeVoe.
Somebody from New Edition.
I know we're having fun. Can I be serious just for a moment here? Just for a moment.
Go.
But this to me is a microcosm for why off-court Kyrie is so maddening. It's like it's a first cousin of the Kyrie just wants to be a voice for the voiceless. Meanwhile, he won't talk about it. And a second cousin of the last thing I wanted to do, guys, was to be a distraction leading into the season. More on this in my IG Live right after the press conference. It's like, buddy, what are you doing? And the lack of just adulting involved. I do not think fans, I think fans have the right to boo, and I'm not terribly bothered by profanity. However, I would be embarrassed if my dad was at the game. It's like, hey, Dad, how was the game? He's like, oh, it was great. Kept calling Kyrie the B word, and he flipped me off. I'm like, Dad, you're 70 years old. Stop it. I don't think that's good. However, I do think part of being a professional athlete is recognizing there's going to be hostile road crowds, and as long as they're not talking about your family or use some type of slur directed at you, you're mostly supposed to ignore it. And it's not common that players flip off fans. I think it is common that fans act like jackasses. So I don't think it's ridiculous to say, hey, Kyrie, maybe in the most watched playoff game to start the year, don't do that. I think that's fair.
No, it's fair. And I don't think anybody's trying to defend what he did. I'm just saying, I understand as a player, you would get tired of fans going at you like that. Now, you do have to control yourself. And again, he should get fined. And I would imagine he'll be better, going forward. But he'll still have a back and forth with him. He probably won't use as much profanity. I don't think he'll flip him off. And if it gets him going on the court, I'm fine with it. But, Nick, nobody's going to sit here and defend Kyrie off the court because he's just a different guy. And that's fine, but sometimes it can be strange. And that's all you're saying. And everybody understands that. He's different.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to flip anybody off. And remember when Russell Westbrook, the Russell Westbrook meme like that, a guy was flipping him off. I think it was a Sixers game, and that guy got thrown out. So there is a precedent there for hey, no one's allowed to do that from fans or players. But the biggest thing is, Jenna, Kyrie is doing this on purpose, and I do believe his quote where he's embracing it. He played better as the hostility ratcheted up. His play ratcheted up. So it's very Jordan-esque where it's when LeBron was in the shop, he's like, I look for a LeBron hater, and I'm like, okay. Kyrie just looked around oh, everybody? Right. Okay, great. I'll just play even better.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.